easy go.
Right guys, this is going to be my last solo prestige for the week. We've done all the guides, the subclasses with different weapons and whatnot. So I tried to make this one a bit harder in difficulty. It's not really hard, but I made it a little bit harder for myself. So the conditions for this one is going to be that I can only use the Titan bubble on the Sentinel subclass, so I can't use its super, just the Ward of Dawn bubble. And doing it with a grenade launcher, which I picked Prospector as our heavy. Seems though it's one of the better grenade launchers and its arc, which I was looking for an arc grenade launcher. Using an arc Mananen, Devils as our primary. As for exotics, we'll be using a Mask of the Quiet one, as you get ability energy when you're damaged, which happens a lot when you're solo. And you get health regen on void ability kills, so it's kind of nice. As for the Nightfall card, it's going to be Arc Singe. So I made all my weapons arc, and obviously my Prospector's arc, and heavyweight. So with this run, for those that struggle with their solos, the best thing you can take away from this run, is how to survive, where to go at each stage, and you'll see everything right till the end. Whereas on my other runs, you know, we mowed the boss down, so you didn't get to see the entirety of the fight. On this one you do. So that's where this run can benefit, because it's alright showing off doing a fantastic run, but you increase the difficulty like this slightly by, you know, saying okay, you've got no aggressive super, you've got no effective power weapon. Then you start to see, well, what do you do when, you know, you're at the boss, you have no heavy, you're on the last phase, where do you stand for that? Well, you'll find all that out. So on this particular intro, I decided just to capture one plate at a time rather than two. When you capture two plates, you know, all the ad spawns are quick, but they all come at you at once, and I'm not used to running a grenade launcher, to be honest. So we're not looking to speedrun this on a bubble Titan, that's for sure. Just looking to get a run in on it. So when I spawn the second plate, or when I've collected the second plate, I like to come over this side and take out the 4 goblins if I can before the next phase starts. Okay, I think he shot my Prospector in mid-air there, that goblin, somehow. Now this is actually a handy spot to come, whatever power weapon you've got, because the ads, you can see, they group up pretty nice. If you run rockets or something, good for that. Prospector is actually half decent damage, but bear in mind it looks better than what it actually is, because Arc Singe is on, heavyweight's on, so the weapon's performing better than what it usually would. Yeah, that's a good place to stand, actually.
Where can we find the Genesis mine?
As always, I do a quick ammo run for each after each encounter. Always important.
Just make your way inside.
So with this next room, we aren't going to bypass it entirely. Like on my previous runs through the week, I chose to sparrow past this section, jump off here, and kill both snipers on the left and right. You can sparrow right down to the bottom and then blind both of them and run through, but that's taking more risks. So, I mean, I wasn't going to get a quick run anyway on the Bubble Titan, so I just decided to do that. Once you've took those two snipers out, you can run through reliably and get through. Try and take as little damage as you can while you're getting through. You can still get weak. If you are pretty weak when you turn around this corner, kill these ads. If you're full health, you can get past them. If not, I would kill them. It's arc singe, so be very wary of the arc beams. That's why we picked arc, because the only arc source in this Nightfall is those beams. In terms of everything else, the goblins do solar, the harpies do void, so the boss does solar as well, so but not much arc. There is actually a crate there, you just see me shoot. If the ads, a lot of goblins group up nice, you get quite a fair few of them that way. So you'll notice there's a harpy shooting to my right often. You'll be baited in by trying to take out the harpy too soon. Take out the goblins that are rushing you first, then you can deal with the harpy. I decided to try and get this Minotaur while I'm over here, as once I push up, the Minotaurs will start to rush. Another reason why Arc Singe is really good. A lot of enemies, a lot of harpies with arc shields, so they just get demolished pretty quick. I rarely use the Prospector, but when I do, it's generally for the Minotaurs, or if, you know, the goblins are stacked up. Which it's sometimes good for ad clear. You'll see at various stages where it comes in actually surprisingly good. If it was in my special slot, I would use it. But I actually made a video about that ages ago, saying that they would change weapon slots before they announced it, and they are coming back, so we are getting D1 style. Well, we're getting even more than that now. We can do anything we want. 3 shotguns. I mean, I don't know how that'll turn out, but main thing I'm happy about is we can run D1 weapon style. That's just the main thing. Like, grenade launchers are okay, but they're not okay for heavy weapons. They need to be in the special slot. See there with the arc singe, they can just, all the arc shields, they just explode on each other, those harpies. And again, another ammo run to fill back up on heavy. Special weapon ammo is kind of important also. Actually really important, because we haven't got the most reliable heavy to deal with things. And you're generally sitting back a lot. You're not close quarters, so you need a lot of scout rifle ammo. You could honestly run double scout with like a Nameless and a Mananan, which would work pretty well as well.
They are not created like exos. Perhaps
Okay, so with this room I discovered you can skip the majority of it. You only need to kill these couple of ads at the initial spawn you need to kill. Once you've killed the initial spawn we can skip most of it. Right now I'm just taking out the hobgoblins at the back of the room, as they can mess up what we're trying to do next. There's a reason behind that. Take out all the harpies, and then there'll be a minotaur and a couple of goblins on the left side plate. Our goal here is to try and collect all 3 plates without having to kill any wave of ads. So how it will work: when you collect a plate, you'll have a wave of ads. When you collect another plate, it'll spawn another wave and then another. But we can skip the ads as we're doing that. Once you push up like this, if you're trying it, just push up and duck on the plate. The ads won't notice you right away. By the time they do, too late, collected the plate. Come to this side plate, do a tower and barricade, just in case the minotaur rushes you. If your health's full enough, then you should survive. Come to the right side, sorry, the left side, and do a titan bubble. Then you're good. You can collect this plate, you're having no worries, and kind of retreat. Wait for your health a little, as you just get dicey trying to run through.
If he drops out, it's because he's thrown a tantrum and broken his microphone. I heard that, you wretch.
And that's a good way of skipping all the playroom on the bubble time. I just thought of it as I was doing the run. So I thought, oh, that'd be a good idea. In this room you don't need to kill all ads. The main priorities are probably the snipers, 2 snipers. It's good to clear the room though, because then you can go for the arc beams hassle free. Remember, arc singes on and you get tagged once, could be over.
You should now find yourself staring into the inscrutable nostril of a slumbering machine. Proceed inside.
Sorry.
Okay, so with this room we're going to deal with it similar to our other runs. We'll take out the 2 snipers top.
Not certain of.
Now there's usually a goblin to my right and left that are away from the herd in middle. This time the spawn was random. Sometimes the spawns are different. Also the minotaur in mid will sometimes rush you. It's a rare occurrence, but it does happen sometimes. The next thing we do is the cyclops, because there's RNG, they may hit you while you're dealing with the ads in mid, so you don't want that. Take out those guys, eliminate them. Good time to do a nade when they're all jumped up like that. Now there's a good few mages in this room, so plus heavyweights on, so I may get 3 to 4 bricks, so I'm okay to use some heavy in this room for sure. Plus there's no requirement for me to have full heavy. Like on my other runs I always want full heavy for the boss, but we don't plan on one phase in the boss with a grenade launcher, so using it more just to get through, using it on priority targets like minotaurs, things just to help us survive. So right now we're clearing out top. There's a load of goblins below me, but we're not going to really deal with those. It's only on the top platform. You stand back here, this minotaur can't really hit you. Always misses. Try and shoot that exploding crate next to the minotaur. Just helps you to take him out a little quicker. And then after all that, there should be 1 or 2 more goblins, and then you can rush. Oh, sorry, push up to the next phase of ads, which they spawn when you get so far on the map. The way I had an idea of using like 3 or 4 shots to the right tower, 3 or 4 to the left, and then running back. Just to try and clear out the towers. Because once you start clearing out the towers, you can then work on middle. Because the towers are annoying. I mean, sometimes the Minotaurs will hide forever. Which of these still one alive on the right. But they'll only push you when you're like dealing with... Once you turn your attention away from them, then they'll push you again. Like I said, that it always disappears behind the tower. Can be annoying sometimes. Obviously, if you had like stronger weapons, then and in a super, like a super's a perfect time. A Titan Smash or whatever to do on this section right here. A good ad clearing super anyhow. Just trying to work on the remaining set of ads, so we've got what, one more Minotaur up. Never trying to multitask and approach with too many ads at once. So like you've seen, I'm isolating each Minotaur as we go along. Okay, so once we've happy with that, you can clear out the 3 goblins below. Once you go down there, there'll be a set of new wave of ads. It always happens once you go to that second tower. Just quickly scan the tower and come out of that, then you won't need to kill any of the goblins. And we can scan the rest of the towers. While that's happening, I'm just searching for ammo. I want full ammo for all my weapons, or close to, because I'm using everything, a lot of everything on the boss. So some of these techniques in this boss fight you won't have seen unless you've watched my channel from like months ago, where we would do the fight in its entirety, whereas these days we don't, because we have heavyweight, we have Akelos weapons, one phase the boss, we have a lot more power these days to do stuff like that. But on this one, you'll see all the places to stand, where to stand at each stage and whatnot. So it's good in that sense. So if you don't want to use any heavy or a super and you want to save up on that stuff, you can come to this, just where these steps are. You can kind of head glitch the boss here. Just put some primary shots into him. We're not concerned with DPS right now, we're just concerned with getting to the next phase. So try and stay in cover while you try to deal with these goblins. You don't want the boss to snipe you while the goblins are. I kind of listen for the boss, so every time he snipes there'll be like a gap. They're openings for you to then move across the map. Don't just willy-nilly move across the map while he's sniping you, because you can only take so many snipes off him. If you're doing it on solo scenes, it's even worse. On this second plate you'll always find the goblins hide if you're taking them from where I do. Sometimes they're worse than others, like occasionally. There's RNG with that. At that time they didn't hide too much actually. And with this boss here we're trying to manipulate him so that he doesn't do his purple blast, because I just want to collect the plate. So you're kind of staying in his line of sight, but he's hitting the rock in front of you. It's only when you are out of sight he'll then do his blast. You come to this section here and duck, you can actually do kind of damage to the boss, and he'll just try and stomp you, but he can't stomp you because you're on the ground below him. Obviously I'm not using any heavy because we're coming up to 2 hard plates. They are pretty hard if you don't have a super or you don't have any good heavy to use on them, so I want to save my ammo for that. I'm waiting for the ads to kind of group up, then I try and spawn kill as many as I can. If we can get that Minotaur down, then that's half the work done, because he and his splash damage quite a lot. Once you think the course is clear, get everything reloaded. Time your opening when to move across. Time it with when he snipes. Same again, you can kind of stop him from doing his blast. He still may do it. It helps to stop him from doing it occasionally. Same with this plate, I want to try and put some damage in with the launcher. As this is probably the hardest plate because there's 2 Minotaurs, which they're all firing at you from a distance, plus the boss sniping at you, so once you get 1 Minotaur down, then it just makes it a lot easier though. Also the bricks that I'm behind now, the boss will very rarely do his blast, his purple blast at you. But if you stand a little bit closer, or maybe a different brick, he will do his blast for some reason. It's just something in his AI. You notice these things when you're doing solo. That's why in like fire teams you never really experience this game properly, I don't think. Because it's just a strike, right? When you're in your fire team, but when you're doing it solo, it's totally different game, I think. I advise anybody watching this who has never done a solo, get doing one, because it's just a totally different game. Now I'm just doing a quick ammo run. Only push him when I was full health. Collect this second plate. So usually on my other runs, by this time we would collect this plate and then just mow the boss down. On this, it's a lot harder to do. Probably possible if there's enough heavy about. Really hard though, because he is. Probably not possible actually, because he's got a lot of health, like 2/3. Not with a grenade launcher anyway. So once you get him so low, when he's at the back mid, he'll then spawn his next wave of ads. If you stand on this middle right side of the map, a really good place to stand because you have cover from the boss. The only thing you need to be wary of is the harpies. There'll be harpies that loop round behind you, like the one that I'm killing now. At the same time, there'll be goblins rushing, and the boss can do his blast. So I decided to super there because I was pretty weak. I don't have the firepower to take them out quick enough. It's definitely a good time to super, but to use a bubble there for me. So basically, like these bricks here that I'm standing behind, they're gonna rotate in terms of when they're invisible and when they're up. I know by experience that the brick that I was at will go invisible on the next phase. So every time his HP gets taken down a little bit, it will rotate. It's about getting into position before things happen, or you know, trying to prevent. Because if the wall does disappear while you're behind it, and the ad spawning, he could snipe you, do his blast, and you might not have enough HP to get to the next wall in time. It's really important to be ahead of all the wall spawns. Now the idea that I had was to try and get the boss down to 1/3, and I was wondering if I could mow him down with the Prospector if I had full heavy, which it holds 17 in total. I was wondering if 17 would do it, with it being arc singeing everywhere. That's what I'm trying to do now, just edge him down. The next phase is up, so I need to move, which is to my right. This is the next best place to stand. Those walls are back up on the right side of the map as well, which I can use them as well sometimes. To be honest, you need to. You can't just stand behind one wall and expect to be alive fine, because he'll do his blast every now and again. Plus with goblins coming up towards you as well. You just kind of rotate between the back walls and the walls on the right side of the map. Not only that, I'm also needing super energy as well, as I'm going to need a bubble for the last section. So there is a couple more waves in this fight. I did say at the start we would go right the way throughout. It's just about after this you would knock his head off, then there'd be one last phase where there'd be a bunch of fanatics and stuff. All the walls would disappear on the map apart from the two at the back. That's the only bit you won't see. Actually, I forgot about that. Right now in my mind I was thinking about where to put my bubble before I do my last damage section. As the boss is in an awkward place, I don't really want him there, to be honest. Kind of just put my bubble up here. Fortunately the boss is miles off, which was really bad, so I just had to do it from here. Ideally I would have wanted him a bit closer, so I could reliably hit all my shots. I think I do anyway, just about, but it made it harder for me. Yes, the Prospector was pretty decent at the end. I didn't quite surprised. I didn't think it would have done that, to be honest. But yeah, that's a run on the Bubble Titan this week, just to finish up the week. But hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.